EntrepreNINES. I'm John Wist.
And I'm Bonni Mace. We're two Enneagram 9s who took the big leap into the world of entrepreneurship at a similar time. And this podcast is a space where we're inviting you to laugh and learn with us as we work to build businesses with soul. This is episode 21.
21.
21.
Sweet.
Do you want to know what my brain did just then?
Yes, I do want to know what your brain did.
Episode 21. We're going to talk about 2021. Like that was the year. Because we're talking about like our goals for the year.
Yeah.
It's 2023.
It's no longer 2021, Bonni.
Oh, God.
Although it does feel like, where did the last 2 years go? So I get you.
Oh, sorry about that. Brain blip.
All good. But yes, we are going to talk about 2023 and our goals. We mentioned this in the last podcast that like we would have a whole podcast where we would talk about goal setting and like 2023 because here's the thing. We kind of set some goals for ourselves, but also life happened. And so we both have felt in some ways that we maybe haven't devoted the time or like the energy to this that maybe we thought we would have. And so maybe the first thing we say is that's okay. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's funny because I said
we still have goals.
Yeah. The last podcast, one of my struggles was literally feeling aimless in my business.
Right.
And like, spoiler, we're doing this one right after that one in real time.
And yet you also pull out a planner.
It's like a full sheet.
I literally have a sticky note with 4 bullet points, and Bonni pulls out a planner that has an entire... I look over, I'm like, oh, wow, look at that, Bonni. You have a whole page of your like 8x10 planner that is covered in stuff for this year.
Yeah.
So you're doing okay.
I forgot about it a little bit. But because I am like from day to day, I feel a little bit aimless because it's
Yeah.
And I'll talk about that, like why a little bit.
Right.
But
well,
I'll talk. Can I
go ahead? It looks like you're doing great, but go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So for 2022, which was like, this is my first full year in business. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
I was very strategic feeling about it. And I like laid a bunch of stuff out and I put a bunch of number goals out there. And then I didn't cope well.
Yeah. When
I had to change these things.
Okay. Interesting. So you feel like it was poor coping? Maybe poor is a strong word for it, but you feel like you didn't cope well with the changes from the plan.
Yes. Okay. Because it was a combination of 2 things that I realized.
Okay.
1, idealistic planning, which
sure. Okay.
LOL. We know where I get that from, but
we all do it.
Yeah. So idealistic planning and like kind of thinking like I can do too much.
Sure.
Just saying like we always think we can do more than we can do tomorrow and not as much as we can do in 5 years or whatever.
Sure.
So it's definitely one of those situations.
Yeah.
And then also trying to plan things that I literally cannot control.
Yeah.
And then also feeling like I needed to be more. Everything was aimed at like being a very like commodified, I guess, like right off the bat. So stepping down from my full-time job was never like, okay, now I'm going to go and be like a billionaire. Right. The point was to get more aligned with my personal values. And some of that was like being more present in my home.
Sure.
In a non-anxious way.
Sure.
Anyway, and so I was kind of forgetting that like, oh yeah, I'm actually upholding that value, even though I'm not meeting all of these like numerical goals that I put down that I actually have zero control over.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be more open-handed with it, which is why I feel aimless about it, because I'm not being as controlling with the strategic part of it. So then I'm forgetful. So I clearly haven't found the balance yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we have both learned too through experience that strategy is important.
Right.
But there's an element of flexibility that has to be there too. And I think it's hard when you're starting a business to not aim high. Yeah.
Well, again, for me, I was used to working 40 hours a week. And so I was thinking of 40-hour capacity.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And there's something about having that muscle. Mm-hmm. And that is kind of the root trick. Have you experienced this? It's like you're working less, so then it takes you a longer time to get working to the capacity at which you know you're capable of working.
Sure.
Because you're having to like okay, brain, let's
shift gears. Let's get in work mode. Here
Yeah.
we go. Yeah.
It doesn't work very fast.
I also have found that I have a little bit right now, less stamina once I jump into a project and I'm pouring some time into it. Like if I get probably about 2 hours in, all of a sudden I just hit like I gotta stop.
Yeah.
And like
I can feel my brain turning into mush.
Yeah. Which I think, in some ways is good. I'm listening, I'm starting to listen to my body and say, oh, I need a break now. And it's okay to walk away and take that break. But there's the like natural impulse, which I think is probably more just our culture that says, no, you must finish this now. Yeah. And so, yeah, I get that.
Yeah. Mark also pointed out to me, I was like, I just feel like I'm so distractible. I need more breaks. And he goes, well, like previously people were popping in your office.
Yeah.
Every half hour. So you're probably taking fewer breaks still.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
Now you're the only one that pops in my office.
Well, and
and rest your head on my shoulder. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I think it's when you're in like an office setting, you get distracted by coworkers and you get probably thrown into things that you didn't think were going to be part of your day.
Yeah. Still feels productive.
Right. Yeah. Whereas like here at home, you get distracted and sometimes you can come back to it and sometimes you can't.
Yeah.
But also I feel like when you are on task, like you're more focused on what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Right.
Like when you work from home. Yeah. I will say it's very disorienting to be like working and then be like, why am I staring at my refrigerator again? Why am I here?
Yeah. What am I doing?
Like I think I needed to get up and move.
Right. Did I need a snack? I think I need a snack.
What am I here? Why am I?
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, so that's kind of that's why I'm feeling aimless and why I had this whole sheet of paper of plans, but I haven't like solidified them because I haven't found the true balance of, like having strategy,
right,
being flexible.
Yeah.
So,
well, since you have a whole sheet of paper and I have 4 bullet points.
No, like they're
let's start.
It's the same.
No, well, I know. I understand. But give us some starts of your thinking. I'm gonna avoid calling it goals because I think that some of these
goals are making me triggered.
Yeah, well, and for both of us, some of it is just like, hey, that'd be really nice.
Yeah.
Like if I could do that this year, that'd be really great.
Yeah.
If it doesn't happen, that's okay. But if I could, that'd be great.
Yeah.
So like you do have a little bug flying around you.
Where did that just come from?
It's right here.
It's February.
It's
come
like
on. There's supposed to be
He's coming my way.
no more bugs.
I think he's gone now. Yeah. I'm going to hesitate in calling them goals. I'm going to more say like, hey, so what are some of the things that you're thinking that you'd like to do this year?
You know who says something that I feel like is nice, and I might be using it wrong.
Sure.
It's Emily P. Freeman. She calls them arrows, like gives you arrows towards your next right thing.
Okay.
So
great.
There we go.
You're just shooting one in that direction. So
yeah. It's like pointing you that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which way she says it. It's from her book. That is one of those books that I haven't read because I know it'll change me. I do this with books sometimes. Do you do this?
Yeah.
There's like one sitting there and you're like, I can't read that book yet because it's going to change me forever.
Not going to do that.
Yeah. Mark got me one for Christmas and I read like the intro. It's not Emily's book, a different one. And I read the intro and I was like, that's great. Yep. I read the intro.
So great.
This book's going to change me.
Come back to this another time when I'm ready or not ready.
Anyway, it's one of those. So one day I'll read it and it'll change me and it'll be great. But for now, I'm too afraid. Okay.
So what are a couple different directions you could point this year? How about that?
Yes. So what I learned last year most is that social media doesn't give you paying clients.
Yeah.
I'm a great social media and I'm a mooch.
Yep.
I recognize that about myself. And that is what other people are too.
Yeah.
So throwing all of my business eggs into the social media basket last year did not pay off.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
I was using all of my nap hours, like as in Isaac's nap, when
not
I work.
Your own nap. Bonnie got 0 naps last year.
Yeah. No, I definitely took some naps. That's great.
I know.
But yeah, I was using all of those hours to make social media content.
Yeah.
And that gave me no money.
Yeah.
So I am trying to shift focus onto things that could actually like give me some money. So that's going to be some passive income.
Yeah.
So a lot of mine are courses and building my email strategy because your email list are eventually people who are more invested in you. and will potentially actually pay you for something.
Sure.
And then also like reaching out specifically to places, because I've known this, that going like pitching to a business group and doing a presentation will get me individual clients.
Sure.
So it's like kind of a double whammy.
Yep.
And like that happened to me at the end of last year. Is I went and did a presentation for a company. I was invited. I did not pitch them. I was invited, which is how I'd prefer it, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to pitch.
Yeah.
And then sure enough, I got a client out of it. And so I'm like, okay, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's kind of my focuses. So
yeah. That's good.
Those are the big things.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like that you want to do courses, because guess who makes courses for people?
John makes courses for people.
Sorry. No, I honestly think that a well done course is super, super helpful and very marketable right now.
Yeah.
And so
yeah,
I think that's great. But I will say, like, on the kind of the same line as you with social media stuff, I'm not a good social media person. Never have been. Don't expect myself to ever become one unless I can hire someone to do that for me.
Yeah.
Until that time, I have decided that the way people can find me instead of me finding them is through doing some SEO on my website. So I'm trying to learn some of that. I bought a course.
Yay, courses.
To do some learning on that. And so, that is one thing that I would like to do sooner rather than later in the year, so that people are finding my website instead of me trying to pitch as much to people.
Yep.
Because I know pitching works because that's a lot of what I've had to do. And even if it hasn't led always to that person becoming a client, they know who I am. And sometimes they talk to other people and sometimes they refer, things like that. So, and another thing that I'd like to do is more networking this year. I joined the Chamber of Commerce for our county late last year. It was right at the end of the year. And, it was one of those things that I had thought about for a long time. And I was finally like, John, just put your big boy pants on, sign up, and go do something with them at some point. And so I haven't actually done an event or anything.
Yeah,
yet.
life is life.
Yeah, go back and listen to the episode before this if you want to hear more about that. So I haven't done anything with them yet, obviously. But even if it's just like one or two events where I can show up, get to meet some people, and people just know that I exist. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So those are two things for sure that are higher on the list for this year. And then really just like being confident in who I am and what I do well is something that, like, I think probably through January, when I was traveling a lot and had some time to think, but then also like interacting with a specific client that has been very like encouraging and complimentary, and like feels like I'm doing a very good job for her and helping her accomplish a goal. Right. Is like, oh, okay, like I can tell a good story and I can create good digital education. Like those two things I feel pretty confident in at this point. So just like doubling down on that and not allowing myself to get distracted by other things that come along, other opportunities. Like if a story or digital education cannot be a part of whatever is being suggested, then it's probably not for me. So, so that's kind of probably the umbrella 3 things. And then I have one very specific one. Yeah. And it's probably been a goal since I started the business, but I think this year it's an actual, like, it would be really, like, I won't call it a goal, but it would be really, really nice if that happened. Do it. Beat it. Which is to make $10,000 a month in income. Because it would allow me to pay myself what we kind of need as a family. But then it would also give me the funds that I need to pay down the debt that I have on the business and to like move forward without feeling kind of restricted by that anymore. So, that's That's the big number one.
Yeah.
But it's the only number that I have on my paper. So
I've not been brave enough to put. I mean, I have like tasky numbers, I guess.
Sure.
I've been too afraid of numbers.
Well, again, like number, where does that number come? Like this number for me makes sense, I guess, in a lot of ways, because like I already know ideally what I want to pay myself.
Yeah.
Every month. I know ideally what I would like, or how quickly I'd like to pay down debt and all that kind of stuff. And so like that's a specific number because there's like things behind it. There's behind it. Yeah. Whereas like if you're just kind of like, you know what, I'd love to build 7 courses this year, and it's like but you don't have any motivation for what they are. Like
it's a very lot of courses.
Well, yeah. I mean, but if you don't have any like context to that, then it's hard to live up to it, right?
Yeah. So I did put how many pitches I'm gonna like.
Nice.
Challenge myself to do. So
that's great.
Because I need to do that because my website's great for now. So I mean, there's some like holes, but now it's just like informing people that I have one.
Right.
Because I don't think. Yeah, people just aren't Googling Enneagram coach quite as often as they're Googling video production in this day and age. So
that's true.
That is part of it, of just like helping people come aware that that some of these options exist. So yeah, I mean, your goals, or your not goals, whatever we're calling them, 2023 ambitions.
Things we'd love to do. Yeah, ambitions. That's a good. I like that. There we go. 2023 ambitions. Yeah.
Sound nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean. Yeah, it'd be great if they all happened. But great. It's okay if they don't.
Yeah. So. I think mine, so one of the things I talked about I'm trying to also do, this isn't on here, but I am trying to do, it is on there. Like one just big email a month to my subscribers.
Yeah.
And the one I did last year talked about like my word of the year, which I haven't done a word in a very long time.
Yeah.
But then it was kind of like jumping out at me this year. And so it's wonder. And so that is kind of like also the posture I guess I'm carrying for 2023 is just, okay, I have these things. I wonder what will happen if I do them. Because a lot of this stuff, and a lot of why I'm afraid of numbers, and a lot of why I don't pitch is because I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
Like I want to have a fear of failure, and 2, I have a fear of success. So what does that mean? I'm afraid of everything.
You're just right in the middle.
Yeah.
You're just stuck.
I'm just
in the middle.
I can't do anything.
Yeah.
So trying to come at it with a posture of like, okay, I wonder what would happen if I made like an Enneagram 101 course. Would anybody take it?
Yeah.
Like, would I learn something? I don't know. So that is a little bit more of my posture and why I'm trying to be like realizing that my motivations for being so hyper strategic last year, or what I felt like was hyper strategic anyway.
Yeah.
Was like, you cannot be bad at this because you have to commodify yourself immediately. Like,
Right.
And so when I had the realization that, oh man, like that's my motivation. This is not, no wonder I'm not doing probably what I want to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, the posture for me in 2023 is very different.
Yeah.
And is kind of the more important part of my ambitions, I think, this year.
Yeah. I get that. And I think that is, we've processed some of this together on the podcast, like of like, even the, like me wanting to stay within my niche, right? Is like, because I've done the other things because I felt like I just had to make money.
Yeah.
Right. And I think a year plus of business is showing both of us like it's more than just that. Like if you're not being true to why you started it, what you wanted out of it from in the first place, which of course is like you want to be financially stable.
Right. That's part of it.
That's part of it, but there's more to that. Even just like we talked about in the last podcast, like me doing this in this season has allowed me the flexibility to drop everything and go be with my mom. Yeah. Like that, like stuff like that is why we are doing this. And so to over quantify or over index on money, you know, is it's easy, but it's not the reason
Mm-hmm.
why we're doing it.
Yeah.
So,
Businesses with soul.
yeah.
Yeah. It's a good reminder. But there's definitely that line that I will be trying to figure out how to walk of like, okay, how do I like, how do you measure progress in this way?
Yeah.
So I'll let you guys know on the
Yeah.
podcast when I figure that out, because
That's good.
there are different businesses and this is just the way that mine is shaking out.
Yep. Yeah.
For now.
Yeah. And it is kind of interesting for both of us. Like, I mean, you are like entering the pitch season as like I'm trying to exit the pitch season.
Yeah. Terrible.
Of my business and head into more of just like, how can I get people to find me?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I think you're learning probably, right, that like you have an audience, like you definitely built an audience with your social work. Like you've done that.
I have.
But those aren't necessarily the people who are paying you.
Yeah.
And so you have the audience, but can you get the people who will now convert into paying?
And like
clients?
Another part of it is like I do have the people. And honestly, some of those people might pay me.
Yeah.
But I also never pitch to them either.
True.
So,
yeah.
I mean, I do. Right. I like put little plugs.
Right.
Generally, but
right.
That's why I'm starting to focus more on my email list too, so that I can try to like get to know the people on my that I have built into my audience anyway.
Yeah.
And I think both approaches are fine. Like I think both of them will be successful. Like you can do it in my order, you can do it in your order.
Sure. Yeah. And I think also there's comfort level. Like you were comfortable being on social, using social as your platform. I was not. And so I had to find another way. Yeah. And now I'm at the point where I need to find the digital way to bring people in too, so that I'm not burning myself out doing all the pitches.
Yep.
So,
yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
2023.
It's here.
Like very here. And here we are. Here's what I'll end on, because this was great. I mean, I don't know how long. Yeah. Okay. This is a good size podcast.
Yeah.
I was talking to our friend Elaine, who's been on this podcast before, and she was talking about how like she just decided that her business year doesn't really start until like March.
Oh, okay.
And she's like, you could do that because for real, like at this point of the year, I'm basically trash because where's the sun? Right. It's been gone for so long.
It's out today.
It is out today. It's beautiful today. I will. And I am doing better this year with some of that like winter blues stuff. Yeah. But in case anybody else is out there like feeling like you missed the beginning of the year, like we kind of joked. Yeah. You didn't. You can start it whenever you want.
Yeah. Well, and that's, I think, even just talking about where we're going to talk about our 2023 goals or ambitions. Like, were we even going to do that podcast anymore because it's February. And we're recording it
10th.
Right. But I think both of us were like, well, yeah, like there's still a lot of year left and we don't have to it doesn't have to be the thing that we come right out of the gate with. Yeah. So that's a good reminder.
It is. And I just, giving yourself the grace to move on your pace, at your pace. Yeah. I think is important. Yeah. And that all shakes out for us differently, but trying to do it is important.
So. Yes. Yeah. We have things written down that we'd like to do. And that is step one.
It's good.
So.
And even when you forget about them for a hot second.
That you have a whole page in your planner of them.
Can I tell you something, John?
Oh my gosh.
The preschool thing is great.
Yeah. And
I keep trying to have a work day in the morning.
Yeah.
And it is so ridiculous how your brain is like, but this is Batwheels watching time. This is time to go build Duplo blocks. Yep. What are you doing trying to be a grown up?
Yep.
Is wild. It's just crazy wild. Because there have been times that I literally from, when I get back home after dropping Isaac off at preschool to the time I need to pick him up, I've been just spinning around in my chair. I don't know how to brain or adult.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure that out again. And I did this in a morning one time, so that's probably why I forgot about it.
Yeah. Well, it'll become routine, right?
Yeah.
He's only how many times has he been to preschool?
No, he's been only 4, but that's okay. I think what I'm saying is it's I kind of expected it at some level, but I didn't expect it to be
right.
Wow.
Yeah.
like my brain is really used to preschool time or toddler time in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
it is just like definitely more than a 2-week adjustment period.
Yeah. I have definitely worked a lot more like nap times in the past month than any other time. And this week was the first time that I got some morning time to do work. And it took me like, I think it took me the first day I did it. I got stuff done, but it was not like, I wasn't editing. I wasn't doing like video work. Like it was just administrative stuff because it was like, I can't.
You have to start with easy stuff.
I can't even get my head wrapped around how much I could get done right now editing wise.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it would be a lot. So
yeah. Eventually those will be my good brain hours because I know that's when my brain is better.
Yeah.
But it is funny to just realize like, oh wow, I've had this habit for a while, so I'm going to work on breaking it. And I'll have to, hopefully what I need to do is just leave this page out on my desk Monday night. So when I walk in on Tuesday morning, after dropping off the baby, I could be like, blah, 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 blah. Oh, look, I have plans here.
There's things to do.
Someone is thoughtful.
Who did this? Who put this here?
My business fairy.
Oh my gosh. That's funny. Yeah. Well, that's good.
Oh, man.
Well, there you go. Our 2023 ambitions. I like that. Yeah. That'll be like the,
it's the title.
The episode title.
Yeah. That's good.
That's good.
Oh, we're on the internet.
We are on that there internet.
We are on the internet, and you can find all that in the show notes. Our socials that John is never on, but he can be on there sometimes. Sometimes. And our websites and ways to reach out and leave us a voicemail. And you can tell us what your 2023 ambitions are.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. We can celebrate with you. And if you haven't figured them out yet, that's okay. You still have time.
And tell us what you're struggling with, figuring them out if you don't have them to leave on our voicemail.
I like that.
Yeah. And leave us a rating and review so other people can find us and we can just, be encouraged by how much you love us. So. Oh man. It feels
There's
good.
that 9 optimism.
Yep.
Just sure that all the reviews are going to be glowing.
They're going to be awesome. So good. Oh man. All right. Well, we're officially back. It feels good. And we will see you next time.